Good evening, everyone. I'm Meredith Mendez, Director of Communications for the school system. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We are here to honor our Teachers of the Year and our Principals of the Year tonight. I would like to start with introducing our school board members who are here with us. School Board President Beth Hines. Vice President Michael Nation. Matt Green, Jack Loop, Shelta Richardson, Mike Winkler, Ricky Hersey, James Bro, Dennis Kuzan, and Lisa Page. We also have with us tonight our Superintendent, Trey Foles, Associate Superintendent Pete Jabbia, and Assistant Superintendent Amy Lemaine, and Mike Kosey. Also tonight we have with us Tammy Lamy, School Board Member, sneaking in. So working with these educators throughout the year as the coordinator of the Teacher of the Year and Principal of the Year program is one of my true honors, because these teachers and school leaders are dedicated educators who make a daily difference in the lives of our students. They are devoted to helping our students become successful members of our community, and they do that work on a daily basis. So we're going to start by honoring our District Teachers of the Year, if y'all would come forward. From Bayou Woods Elementary, we have Janelle Helmstetter-Plaisant, who is our Elementary Division Teacher of the Year. The Middle Junior High Division winner is Edric Frederick from Lee Road Jr. I always call him Eddie. And at the high school level, the Teacher of the Year is Lauren Rodas from Fontainebleau High School. Thank you all so much for everything that you do on a daily basis. Now let's meet our District Principals of the Year. In the Elementary Division, Maureen Mimi Leonard from Whispering Forest is our Principal of the Year. From 5th Ward Junior High, Chris Ufnak is the Principal of the Year for the Middle Junior High Division. And Chris is also a state semifinalist. And in the high school division, Frank Jabbia is our Principal of the Year. Thank y'all very much for your hard work and dedication. So we are going to honor these special educators tonight with an awesome bit of entertainment. And for that, I'm going to turn things over to our Fine Arts Supervisor, Rosalind Hanson. Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate these excellent educators.
Good evening. Thank you, Meredith. I call your attention to the artwork displayed in the atrium. We would like to thank the students from Madisonville Junior High and Pitcher Junior High for the beautiful artwork that will be on display this entire month of October in the atrium. Their art teacher is Miss Courtney Dominique. So make sure you have time afterwards so that you can check out their wonderful pieces of art. For tonight's entertainment, we pay tribute to these exceptional educators for their ability to help students succeed. We feature Lyon Elementary chorus students. They are under the direction of Miss Martha Sykes, and they will perform 2 songs to pay tribute to our honorees. Their first song is America for Me, followed by a favorite, What a Wonderful World. Students. once again, Lyon Elementary choral students, wonderful. Not only was your singing beautiful, but your signing was beautiful as well and very inspirational. And to our exceptional educators, thank you for helping our students grow and helping to make it a wonderful world for them in your schools and in your community. That's it for our entertainment for tonight. We ask that you please enjoy some refreshments prepared by our food services department. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome you all here this evening. Ms. Coakley, would you call the roll for us, please?
Mrs. Heinz?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Derman?
Ill.
Mr. Loop? Mr. Harrell? Mr. Nation?
Stuck at work.
Mrs. Richardson?
Here.
Mr. Winkler?
Here.
Mrs. Drucker?
Here.
Mr. Bettencourt?
Here.
Mrs. Lamy?
Here.
Mr. Hersey?
Here.
Mr. Bro?
Here.
Mr. Kuzan?
Here.
Mrs. Page?
Thank you very much, Ms. Coakley. Would you please rise for the invocation and pledge, which will be led by Mr. Loop?
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here safely tonight for this meeting. We give thanks for our dedicated school leaders as we honor our teachers and principals of the year this evening. Guide us as we make decisions tonight for our school community. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Loop. Do we have anyone here that our board members would like to recognize tonight? Any visitors? Ms. Lamy?
I would like to welcome Ms. DeAndrea Chapman, who is running for Slidell City Court Judge, and her family, and also for Lee Barrios, who's running for Bessie, District 1.
Thank you, Ms. Lamy.
Thank you for being here.
Well, this is a night of special recognitions, and Mr. Foltz is going to start it off with our Teachers of the Year.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Good evening, board members. Tonight, the teachers that we will be honoring represent all the hardworking teachers across St. Tammany Parish. At the elementary level, proud to introduce to you Mrs. Janelle Pleasant. She is St. Tammany Teacher of the Year for our elementary schools. Janelle teaches at Bayou Woods Elementary. She has a passion for creating positive parental involvement in her school, which she believes, and we all know, helps her provide the best education possible for her students. Please take a look at the video highlighting Janelle.
Complete and incomplete sentences. Are you ready? I don't
All
feel
right.
like I'm doing anything out of the ordinary. I think that all teachers, for the most part, come in and they do exactly what I'm doing every day. So for me to be picked, it was just amazing.
She loves her students. She finds a way to touch them, to connect with them, to make learning exciting.
They have to know you love them and they love you back, and then they're able to accept what you're teaching.
One of her favorite words that she'll say is wow.
Wow. Rocking it.
I hear her say that so frequently, and then I watch her in action, and I think she thinks her job is to wow her students.
No matter how they woke up, no matter how they got on the school bus, they come in my classroom and they're giving me everything they have, where it's reciprocated.
She truly lays the foundation of the love for learning that they will take with them throughout their years.
Janelle, please come forward. We want to congratulate you and say wow to you for your job.
Thank you.
Want to say a few words? No?
I mean, I just thank you to everybody, and I mean, I'm super excited. I'm proud of myself and my team because I'm not here because I'm a teacher of the year every day when I walk in the classroom. I'm here because of my support system, my coworkers and my family that's sitting behind me that hold me up when I don't feel like and I feel like I can't go on. So thank you, everybody.
And I know Janelle's principal, Kathy McDowell, is here, as long as Janelle's family, so we want to thank them and her school families here as well. So thank you all so very much. Next up, we have the middle junior high category. Tonight, we're happy to honor Edward Frederick from Lee Road Junior High as our Teacher of the Year. Eddie has taught at Lee Road for 18 years, and he's the school athletic director as well as a coach at the school. Here's a video highlighting Eddie's work.
I never expected that I would have been chosen Teacher of the Year. I mean, in St. Tammany Parish, I mean, in my school, much less St. Tammany Parish, right? So when Kalinda brought me into the office and told me that I was Teacher of the Year for the parish, I really thought she was joking. I just didn't expect it. So it's definitely an honor.
It is extremely important, and we are so proud of him. And it's I can't think of a better person here to represent our school at the current time than Eddie. I just can't say enough positive things about him. He's just an asset, not only here at our school, but out in the community. He has a tremendous influence on a lot of the kids. The parents love him.
Think about how long did it take to do that? This is the age group that I wanted to teach and coach since I got out of high school. They're right before they become really young adults. They're getting ready to head down a lot of different paths. And so being able to mentor them and teach them and help them out, that's the joy.
He's such a tremendous asset. The honor for our school and for our community is just fantastic, and we could not have a more positive representative than Eddie.
Congratulations. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you. Congratulations.
You heard it in the video. When you do this, it's for the kids. And building the relationship with the kids is really what got me Teacher of the Year. The staff, like Ms. Janelle said, it's the staff and it's the kids, it's everybody, it's the support system. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. And I love the junior high kids. I don't think I'd rather be anywhere else. And I just hope to keep mentoring them and leading them down the right path. So, thanks.
Principal Kalinda Falteroy, as well as Eddie's family, is here, so thank you all. Congratulations. All right, the next up is our high school level, and tonight we are happy to honor and recognize Lauren Rodas from Fontainebleau High. Lauren has been an English teacher for more than 13 years. Her passion for education extends beyond her classroom and into her community, where she is a member of the Dance Project Alliance. Take a look at this video on Lauren Rodas.
So the first thing you're gonna do is just ask a question. How has the author crafted this part of the text?
Lauren in the classroom is extremely innovative. She incorporates technology. She incorporates her love of learning and instills that in the students.
Something I think I strive for is just to learn alongside my students. Go ahead and circle Congress. So if you come in my classroom, a lot of times you'll see me right next to them and moving around constantly with them or conferencing one-on-one with them.
As a product of St. Tammany Parish, graduating at Salmon High School, Lauren has done a fantastic job in the classroom, and I am sure that her teachers at Salmon probably instilled this love of learning in her, as well as literature from her English teachers.
When you think of across the district, how many people in St. Tammany Parish are just dedicated, committed teachers? It's an incredible honor to be considered amongst those other teachers.
She was very grateful that she was chosen by the parish. She was surprised and I think maybe even a little shocked, because at first she had told me, I don't think I'm gonna get it.
And when I found out that this just inspired me to be even better. It was one of those moments that now that I'm honored to be Teacher of the Year, but it makes me just want to keep climbing and keep working hard so that I'm a better version of myself next year.
So Lauren, come on up. So Lauren's a little confusing. She started at Salmon, and then she was at Fontainebleau High. And this year, she's at North Shore High. Mr. Vetrano's still mad about that. But I do appreciate him coming tonight for that as well. So congratulations. We're proud of you. You're doing an awesome job. I'll say a few words.
Thank you so much, Mr. Foltz, and to the board and to your entire staff. I think something that's so unique about this incredible honor is when you're in the classroom, your goal is to help your students become their best selves. And I have been privileged to be a part of St. Tammany Parish since the beginning, and I've had teachers along the way and coaches along the way, and then principals along the way who've not only created this environment for me to be the best version of myself, but then to allow me to spread my wings and fly. And so Mr. Vetrano, I don't know if any of you've read the book, The Multiplier Effect, but he truly creates greatness in his school, and I'm incredibly honored to represent Fontainebleau, and I feel incredibly blessed to be welcomed at North Shore, to be in my community, just giving back, because at the end of the day, it's the teenagers that I love, and each day I get to wake up and teach them, so thank you.
Congratulations to all of you. You're just wonderful examples of our positive attitudes that we have in our classrooms, and you represent all of our system so well, and we're all very proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Heinz. Next, we're going to move to our Principals of the Year, 3 Principals of the Year, and we have our instructional leaders with us here. And the first one we want to honor is our Elementary Principal of the Year, and that is Miss Maureen Mimi Leonard, and she has been at Whispering Forest since 2014, creating a culture of excellence at that school. Please take a look at the video.
It was a huge honor, and it was very unexpected. I'm among wonderful administrators, so I was just totally honored and blessed.
I would have to say the biggest quality in her as a leader is her positive attitude. And we see that as a faculty, the kids see that. When we see her, she's smiling. She knows me as a person. She knows these students. She can tell you everybody's name. She knows who their siblings are. She knows something about every kid in the school.
I love building that foundation at that low level, and seeing kids excited to learn, to want to come to school, to want to be a teacher, to want to be a principal, to want to be an astronaut. You know, we love that here.
Miss Leonard, when you get a minute, could you stop by the gym?
Okay, Miss Ario, I'll be right there. I think teamwork, whether it's on a sports team or a choral team or a drama team, whatever it is, it's teamwork, and you build that cooperation with each other, and I think that's a life skill that everybody needs. So I'm always participating at recess and at PE time with my students.
Part of elementary school is having fun and learning, and she really makes that happen by being present with the kids in all of their classes.
I'm a people person. I want my teachers to enjoy coming to work. I want parents to be excited about bringing their children to my school. And so I try to be positive and be a strong role model for everybody.
Congratulations, Mimi Leonard, our Elementary School Principal of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. I can talk to 600 students every day, but when I talk in front of adults, you get a little nervous. But I'd like to thank the board, Mr. Foltz, all the supervisors that are here. I am very proud of this. I'm a product of St. Tammany Parish. My husband is, my children are, and this has been a very proud moment for all of us. I've been in the education field for 30 years, and it's been a wonderful experience here in St. Tammany, and I want to continue, of course. I'd like to thank all of my previous teachers and coworkers that are even here tonight, but especially my family that is here. But I couldn't do this without my assistant principal and the wonderful family at Whispering Forest. My custodians, my cafeteria workers, my office staff, my teachers, my paras, everyone. It's a team effort. As you saw in there, I grew up playing sports, so we treat our school like a team. We are a team, everybody there, and it makes for a wonderful learning environment, and I want to continue working there until I retire. Thank you very much.
And I know Mimi's family is here as well as her school family, so we thank them as well for being here. In the middle junior high level, we are happy and proud to introduce to you from 5th Ward Junior High, Chris Ufnak. I'm also proud to say that Chris was chosen as a state semifinalist for Principal of the Year, so congratulations for that as well. Chris believes in teamwork and family connections, and he established that same family, Falcon family, at his school, leading to an increased participation from all stakeholders. Here's a video of Chris and some of his accomplishments at 5th Ward.
Chris Ufnak is very open-minded and consistent with what he does. He's done such an amazing job here at 5th Ward.
It was very rewarding to see the hard work had paid off, and then when I got the email and phone calls saying I was a state semifinalist, it was even more rewarding. You're only as good as the people that work with you. We don't think anybody here is underneath anybody else. Everybody from custodians to secretaries to cafeteria, we're all on the same playing field, we're same level, and we're all doing it together to accomplish what we want, to make sure we're getting the success rate and the growth that we need from the students.
He loves the kids love him. Every morning, you know, they can see him and hug him 3 different times because they love him. He is the picture of our school. And so for him to be honored with this, I mean, it's amazing. It speaks volumes about him and about our school.
And just being able to be a part of that success of seeing every child succeed every day has been very rewarding. And that's kind of why we keep coming to work every day and making sure we have the success for the kids.
Congratulations to our junior high principal of the year, Mr. Chris Ufnak.
Well, Mimi, you're 100% correct. It's easier to talk in front of kids than it is adults. There's no doubt. Thank you very much. I can say 9 years ago when I started at 5th Ward, it truly was a family taking because my wife was the first one to start drawing and painting on the walls, Falcon family, and we wanted to get the whole school to buy into that. So the first thanks is to my wife and kids, what they've put up with over 9 years for the time was spent, because as Mr. Foles asked in all his interviews, can you do it 24/7, 365? And the alarm goes off, you got to go, so it doesn't matter. So thank you to all of them, my wife and kids, for being there. And the Falcon family has really embraced us. We've had some really blessed with some great teachers. That is the reason that I'm up here. I would not be here without the professionals that I work with, including Johnny Vetrano, who we all can laugh at because he has started a lot of people in this district, and I want to thank him for giving me a chance at Fontainebleau back then. So it's really been a great endeavor. I wouldn't change it for the world. I love where I'm at in the country. It's really hard for a kid from Metairie to go out to play with cows and chickens and pigs every day, but we do it. So if anybody wants to come pick some chicken eggs, we're more than welcome at 5th Ward. I appreciate it.
And board members in the audience tonight, our final winner is Frank Jabbia, who is the high school principal of the year from North Shore High School. Frank has been at North Shore High since 2013, and he believes and models a positive attitude is the key to success at his school. Please take a look at a video highlighting and honoring Frank.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for my sticker.
It's a tremendous honor to just be part of this school system and to represent the 8 high schools in this school system. And to be a former student, former teacher in this same school system, this being my 26th year is a tremendous honor.
Very, very instrumental in being hands-on here, encouraging kids to be doing the right thing. I mean, he is always outside in between classes. He is never in his office.
From day one, I got in this because of kids. I love kids. I love being around kids. I love talking to kids. I love interacting with kids. Here, I'm able to affect 1,600 kids and get to know them and know what makes them tick and what makes them want to work hard and do what they want to do.
It's like family, honestly, because I mean, like you'll see him in the hall and just, hey, how's it going? How's your day? How was your weekend? So it's not just like, hey, we're at school again and he's just here, but he's like almost like a father figure to us. I mean, like he looks out for us. Whatever we need, we can just ask him and he'll be there.
I just want what's best for them and what's best for their families and their futures.
Frank is here tonight with his family and his extended school family as well, so we want to congratulate you, Frank.
First, I want to just thank the board, all the superintendents, all the central office staff for your support. This couldn't be possible without you guys, but like you saw in the video, I'm all about the kids. I'm all about our teachers, whatever it takes for them to be successful, for our teachers to be successful. So it's an honor to represent you. It's an honor to have been part of St. Tammany Parish school system for the last 40 years. I'm like most of the people that came up, I'm born and raised in Slidell, and proud to say that, and proud to be a product of this school system and to represent you guys every day. But thanks for all you do for us, and we'll keep on working hard, I promise. Thank you.
So if could, Ms. Heights, I think Chris talked about it, we said it's 24/7, 365. So I know it is for these teachers that are here tonight, I know it is for these administrators as well, and I know it is for their families, because they could not do it without their support with their families. So I'm going to ask all family members of any of the 6 people that are here that are being recognized tonight to please stand and let us recognize and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, Ms. Heights.
Thank you, Mr. Volz. We are very proud of all of our administrators, and tonight we're especially proud of the 3 that we honored. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much to your families. Our next item is National School Lunch Week, which is October 14th through 18th, and Mr. Kosei, I'm calling you for that.
Thank you, Board President Hines, Superintendent Foles, Board, and audience. In 1946, President Harry S. Truman signed the National School Lunch Act. This was a direct result of men not able to pass the physical when drafted for service during World War II. Congress passed the act as a matter of national security to safeguard the health and well-being of our nation's children. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy created National School Lunch Week, a week-long celebration of the school lunch program. National School Lunch Week will be celebrated October 14th through the 18th. The theme is School Lunch, What's on Your Playlist? We plan to share the best real images of today's school lunch: fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, milk, and smiling students. I would also like to thank new Food Service Director, Supervisor Ms. Jenny Montz, and the entire food service staff for their hard work and dedication. Ms. Lisa Page, it's my honor to ask you to now read the resolution recognizing National School Lunch Week in St. Tammany Parish Public Schools.
Whereas the week of October 14th through 18th, 2019 has been named National School Lunch Week, and whereas School Lunch, What's on Your Playlist is the theme for this year's school lunch celebration, and whereas the National School Lunch Program is dedicated to the health and well-being of our nation's children and has served our country for 73 years through advanced practices in nutritional education, and whereas the cafeteria staff across the St. Tammany Parish Public School System serve approximately 9,700 breakfasts and 23,000 lunches each day, and whereas many parents, grandparents, school board members, state and local officials will be visiting our schools during this special week, and now therefore be it resolved that the St. Tammany Parish School Board publicly thanks the Student Nutritional Advisory Council's Ms. Jenny Mons, Supervisor of School Food Services, and her staff, and the school food service managers and technicians at each school for providing an excellent school food service program for our school system. Be it therefore resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of this school board, with copies being sent to each school's principal, Student Nutritional Advisory Council, and cafeteria staff, and to Ms. Montz and her staff as testimonials of this board's recognition of their outstanding endeavors.
Would you like to move that we accept the resolution, Ms. Page?
Yes.
All right, we have a motion. We have a motion by Ms. Page and a unanimous second to accept our National School Lunch Week resolution. Do we have any comments from board members? Ms. Lamy?
I do want to thank all of our hardworking food service people, but I thought I would just share this since it happened today. as I picked up my boys and we got home, I said, I made spaghetti for dinner. I have meetings tonight. Da, da, da. And they said, we had spaghetti at school today. I'm like, yeah, but this is my spaghetti. And they said, but the school spaghetti's just like yours. And I was like, you should never say the cafeteria food is just like your mother's spaghetti. They're like, it is. Like, it's really good. So props to all of you.
All right. Any other comments from board members? Any comments from the public? Would everyone please vote on the resolution for National School Lunch Week? All right, we have 13 yeas. That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Kosei, Ms. Page, and Ms. Muntz. We appreciate it. Our next item is School Bus Owner Operator and Bus Attendant Appreciation Week. Mr. Kosei.
Thank you, ma'am. It is my honor to report the excellence and professionalism that exists within the Transportation Department. I would like to thank new Transportation Director George Bodie and the Transportation Department staff. Their hard work and dedication guided incredible support service to our excellent school district. In society, there's a long list of unsung heroes who go unnoticed on a day-to-day basis. The establishment of the School Bus Safety and School Bus Operators and Attendants Appreciation Week, October 21st through the 25th, recognizes those individuals who ensure the safe transportation of thousands of children to school and back each day. Our St. Tammany transportation employees have an incredibly difficult task. They consist of driving large vehicles, managing their precious cargo, while following safety precautions for an uneventful journey. Our operators and attendants remain dedicated and diligent to their responsibilities. This significant week will promote school bus safety awareness and education, including practiced evacuation exercises. The schools are eager to design and implement activities to enhance student understanding and convey appreciation to the transportation employees servicing them. Please help us celebrate by honoring our school bus employees with a simple expression of thanks and appreciation. It is my privilege to recognize Board Member Mr. Brandon Harrell, who will read our transportation resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Kosei. Whereas school buses cover more than 29,000 miles daily in St. Tammany Parish, transporting approximately 31,500 public and non-public students and have an excellent safety record. And whereas the positions of school bus operator and school bus attendant require tremendous responsibility as they are required to safely operate in traffic, maintain order on the bus, and in the event of an emergency, are looked upon for leadership and guidance. And whereas the St. Tammany Parish School Board is dedicated to the safety of our students and drivers on school buses, and whereas the primary factors for the excellent safety record of St. Tammany Parish buses can be attributed to dedicated school bus operators and attendants who spend considerable time and energy in ongoing training to maintain skills and keep current knowledge of laws and safety procedures, as well as careful bus maintenance and thorough inspections. And whereas school bus operators and attendants are a critical part of the public education system by making our schools accessible to all students throughout St. Tammany Parish. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of the St. Tammany Parish School Board hereby acknowledge and applaud the everyday efforts of all school bus operators and school bus attendants in the school system and proclaim the week of October 21st through 25th, 2019, as St. Tammany Parish School Bus Safety and School Bus Operator and School Bus Attendants Appreciation Week. Be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of this board, with a copy being sent to all schools within the school system to post as a sign of appreciation to all school bus operators and school bus attendants. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell.
Second.
All right, we have a unanimous second on that. Would any board member like to make a comment? Do we have any comments from members of the public? If not, we'd like to vote on our School Bus Owner Operator and Bus Attendant Appreciation Week resolution, please. We have 13 yeas on that. Thank you very much, Mr. Harrell, Mr. Bodie, and Mr. Kosei. Our next item is Red Ribbon Week resolution, and I'm going to call again on Mr. Kosei for that.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. This year's theme for Red Ribbon Week, October 28th through November 1st, reads, The best me is drug-free. Since its beginning in 1985, Red Ribbon Week has touched the lives of millions of people around the world. Red Ribbon Week began in response to the 1985 murder of DEA agent Enrique Camarena. In honor of Agent Camarina's memory and his battle against illegal drugs, friends and neighbors began to wear red badges. Parents formed coalitions to battle drugs and embrace Camarina's belief that one person can truly make a difference. The red ribbon was adopted as a symbol of Camarina's memory. Today, the red ribbon serves as a catalyst to mobilize communities to educate youth and encourage participation in drug prevention activities. In St. Tammany alone, Pride distributes over 30,000 red ribbon wristbands to students and adults in our community. Our Pride troop will be performing at several of our schools. Our goal is to reach as many youth and their families as possible with our message. I want to thank Ms. Bentley Logan, Pride's Executive Administrator, and their staff for Pride's work and dedication to the students of St. Tammany Parish. Special thanks to Mr. Jeff Polito, Fontainebleau High School's talented theater teacher, who is also the facilitator of Pride in our system. I would also like to recognize Pride board members present tonight, Tracy Pendry and Grant Yenny, along with some of the student representatives of our Pride troop. So a special welcome to them if you'd please stand and be recognized. Thank you. At this time, it is my pleasure to ask Mr. Matt Green to read the resolution for Red Ribbon Week.
Thank you, Mr. Kosey. I'd like our board to consider the following resolution. Whereas the St. Tammany Parish School Board values the health and safety of all students, families, and citizens of the parish, and whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America with students, teachers, faculty, and staff committing to healthy, drug-free lifestyles. And whereas the mission of Pride is to assist in the healthy, drug-free development of youth and families by providing leadership training, family life skills, education, and prevention programs. And whereas the school board acknowledges the contributions made by the members of Pride and expresses its gratitude for this organization's long-standing support of students and schools. Now therefore be it resolved that this board does hereby proclaim the week of October 28th through November 1st, 2019 to be Red Ribbon Week in all public schools in St. Tammany Parish with the theme of "The Best Me is Drug-Free." Furthermore, be it resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of this board, and a copy of this resolution be sent to Pride and posted to each St. Tammany Parish public school as an indication of this board's declaration of Red Ribbon Week and its acknowledgement of the valuable contributions made by Pride, and I so move.
We have a motion by Mr. Green, and we have a unanimous second on our Red Ribbon Week resolution. Do we have any comments from board members? Any comments from the public? If not, would you please vote on the Red Ribbon Week resolution? We have 13 yeas. That resolution passes, and I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Green, Mr. Kosey, and our entire Pride troop, and hope everyone enjoys their celebration of Red Ribbon Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
All right, our next item is public comments. We have two people who signed up for our 5-minute public comments. The first one is Ms. Cherie Coltora. You come forward, please, and state your name for us, again, for the record.
My name is Sherry Coltor, and I live in Slidell, Louisiana. I would like to thank Mr. Falls, Ms. Hines, and the rest of the board for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. I advocate for children and parents. I routinely attend meetings with parents, and I observe many things in the course of these meetings. I have a perspective that is much different than a parent or a teacher. I have the ability to see the big picture. I tend to pick up on things that others typically overlook, or perhaps they miss these things altogether. I not only advocate for bullied children, I advocate for many things within the school system, such as children with special needs and social justice. I was asked to attend an IEP last week, and the things that were said in this IEP really blew me away. As the team who was supposed to be acting in the best interest of the child took what was supposed to be an implementation of a BIP and it turned into a change of placement. The parent did not have prior written notice of this. While in this meeting, the parent attempted to speak on her child's behalf and was told that she could not speak, that the team had already decided to change this child's placement, which violated the rules and guidelines of the IEP. The parent was also told that even if she didn't agree with this change, that this change would be implemented. The parent was told if she didn't agree with what was happening, her only option was to challenge it, which means due process. At this point, I had to advocate for the parent and insist that her voice would be heard and that she had a right to address her concerns. I was surprised and frankly appalled that they would attempt to squelch her voice as she is her child's legal advocate. It appeared that the decision was made prior to this meeting and that the entire reason we were there was to change this child's placement. The decision didn't reflect what the FBA data supported. The child did better in a full inclusion setting. This definitely was not in the best interest of the child. It was very alarming that school board attorneys would suggest the parent's only option was to challenge this decision in court, and it was said multiple times. We asked for alternative options and were assured that the only option was to challenge it in the court of law. I, as a taxpayer, draw issue to this, as well as an advocate for this parent. I felt this was extremely inappropriate. As a matter of fact, the attorney is only there to advise the school board of their legal obligations, not to speak outside of that role. They are not part of the IEP team, and they have no personal experience with the child. I feel like the board can't act on things they don't know. So I decided to be placed on the agenda since you all are legally responsible for anything that happens in the schools. I felt it was only right to let you know what is really going on in St. Tammany Parish. In closing, I want to point out that a parent shouldn't have to take the school system to court just to get what they feel is in the best interest of their children. We are obligated to send our children to school. You are obligated to educate our children. Why can't we come to the table and discuss what is in our children's best interest without suing the school board? That is completely unacceptable that we pay for this public school system, and in the course of fighting for our children, we are told the only way we have a voice is in the courtroom, which we would also have to pay for. So we are essentially paying 3 times for our children to be treated fairly and equitably. Something must change. I would also like to add that I am a self-advocate. I am the example of what happens when a special needs child is educated in a regular education class. And I'm sure none of you knew that, but I am the example. Things need to change in this parish. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Kultura. Our next person is Deandra Chapman.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the time to introduce myself tonight, and thank you for your service. I'm a candidate for judge in Slidell City Court. I have served Slidell City Court for 22 years as its indigent defender. I'm a product of St. Tammany Parish Public Schools from kindergarten to 12th grade. I graduated from Pearl River High. My mom was an educator for 35 years at various schools in St. Tammany. She spent the majority of her time at Bonnie Cole. Currently, my husband is an ROTC instructor at Lakeshore High, so I have very deep roots with St. Tammany Parish. We've chosen to educate all 5 of our children in public schools here in St. Tammany. Having 5 children, I know that no children are the same. There's no cookie cutter for children. The way children are educated, good teachers figure out a way to help a child learn the information that they're trying to present. As judge, I want to handle the juveniles that come into Slidell City Court individually. The law is the same, but each child is different. They have different needs. Some have special education needs, some have mental health needs, some have drug issues. They must be handled accordingly with compassion. Juveniles are the biggest docket that we have at Slidell City Court. I've handled a lot over the 22 years, not just juvenile delinquents, and most of their cases come from the school system. Fighting at school, drugs at school, coming back to football games when they were expelled from school and they weren't supposed to be on campus. So I would like to work with St. Tammany School Board to educate the students before they come into the criminal justice system. I think if we can come in and do some classes or some workshops, or just be around to talk, to answer questions, to explain to children what happens when you do certain things. Peer pressure is a big issue in St. Tammany Parish. Well, in anywhere, all kids have peer pressure. But this year we had a lot of terrorism issues. And I think if some of it stemmed from bullying, some stemmed from children just not really understanding the social media, cutting and pasting and putting things out there. So I believe that having someone with experience with juveniles, of my own, all 5 are 25 to 14, I still have one in high school. I think I'll make it through. Someone who understands the things that children are facing today. They have Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook. And we say St. Tammany Parish Schools has zero tolerance for bullying. But now bullying happens on phones. Children, when you used to be at home safe, bullying is just coming through quicker than you can imagine. So I would like the opportunity to serve the citizens of Slidell and Pearl River as its next Slidell City Court judge. And I'd like to work very closely with St. Tammany Parish Schools to do that. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service to the children.
Thank you, Ms. Chadwick. We appreciate you coming tonight and introducing yourself to us, and best of luck to you this weekend. All right, we'll move on to our 3-minute public comment period. We have one person who signed up, and that is Mr. Royal Escamilla. And if you'd come forward, please state your name again.
Good evening, my name is Roel Escamilla. Thank you, board members, superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, I want to commend you first and foremost. Whenever me or my wife called to raise a grievance, your office and your administrative staff have done a good job of responding to those. I had the privilege earlier this week of meeting with a member of your administrative staff. We're working towards a resolution towards our issues, and I appreciate that opportunity. But I do also want to take an exception to this process. When I was in the Marine Corps, the number one thing that I learned was when you come upon a scene, if there's bleeding, stop the bleeding, and then you treat whatever the cause is. My daughter has, for lack of better terms, been harassed by one of her teachers at her school. And while we're working towards resolving this particular issue, the harassment has not stopped. There's been no step to safeguard her social or emotional well-being inside that classroom. Every email I've sent every day this week has mentioned that we're working towards a resolution. We're meeting on Monday. Teachers are getting professional development on Friday. And I appreciate all of those steps. I think those are real, tangible efforts at resolving the issue. But I also think that it doesn't go without saying that the teacher does need to be monitored in the classroom if we're working towards a resolution and a parent is notifying you every single day of the week that there's an issue in the classroom, that there's a lack of leadership, that there's a lack of direction, that this teacher is acting outside of her professional capacity. I work with over 30 teachers in Orleans Parish, St. Bernard, and Jefferson Parish, servicing over 600 students. I have worked for the past 10 years in early childhood development, in social justice reform, and education reform. I'm a U.S. Marine, and I understand what leadership looks like. And this is not leadership. A 15-year-old child who has special needs and physical disabilities should not be berated by her teacher every day, and parents should not have to respond by coming down and talking to the school board in this manner because we want to secure and safeguard the employment of this teacher. What about the student? I am now a liar to my daughter because she begged and pleaded with me on Monday to remove her from the school until the resolution was reached. She did not want to go to that school. We are talking about a child who at 10 years old was diagnosed with a chronic illness, who spent weeks in the hospital with brain bleeds and having her spleen removed. And at no point did she ever lose her joy for education. And in 2 months of living in this district, she doesn't want to go to school now. And that is not due to the bullying of students. It is not due to the move. It is purely due to the actions of a single teacher. And that's a problem. We moved to this parish because of the expectation of the excellence of service.
Appreciate your comments. Mr. Escamilla. All right, we'll move on to our next item, which is approval of the minutes from the special meeting held on September 5th, 2019. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Ms. Page and a second by Mr. Kuzan. Do we have any comments from board members? Do we have any comments from the public? If not, would everyone please vote on the minutes from September 5th?
Abstention.
12 yeas, 1 abstention. The minutes pass. Our next item is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on September 12th, 2019. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes? A motion by Ms. Drucker, a second by Mr. Winkler. Do we have any comments from board members? Any comments from the public? If not, would everyone please vote on the September 12th minutes? We have 13 yeas on those, so the September 12th minutes pass. Our next item is to consider and take action with respect to adopting a resolution giving preliminary approval to the issuance of general obligation school refunding bonds of St. Tammany Parish Wide School District Number 12 of the Parish of St. Tammany, State of Louisiana, making application to the State Bond Commission for approval of said bonds and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Schluter is here this evening to answer any questions on that. Would anyone like to make the motion before we get to questions? All right, I have a motion by Ms. Drucker, a second by Ms. Richardson. Comments from board members? Any questions for Mr. Schluter? All right, comments from the public? Mr. Schluter, would you like to say something, or are we good? All right. If no comments from the public, will everyone please cast their vote to take action on this resolution regarding the bonds?
13 yeas.
We have 13 yeas. Thank you for being here this evening, Mr. Schluter. We appreciate that. All right, our next item is retirement resolutions for certificated personnel, and I'll call on Mr. Jabbia for that.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Cassandra A. Baptiste, Bonnie Cole Elementary, 38.73 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Vivian A. Schultz, Lee Road Junior High, 31.03 years, 23.43 years in St. Tammany Parish. Gina P. Brown, Pineview Middle, 21 years, 12.26 years in St. Tammany Parish. Cherie S. Escara, Magnolia Trace Elementary, 14.13 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Deborah A. Turlidge, Slidell High, 15.90 years, 5.23 years in St. Tammany Parish. And Janae L. Donaldson, Woodlake Elementary, 26.26 years, all in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to accept those? Mr. Green is moving to accept those. Mr. Loop is giving a second for those. Do we have any comments from board members? Any comments from the public? Would everyone please vote on the retirement resolutions? We have 13 yeas, and we would like to wish you a long and happy retirement to those teachers. Thank you so much for your service. Our next retirement resolutions are from some of our non-certificated personnel subsequent to September 12th. 2019. Mr. Jabbia, could you read those for us?
Yes, ma'am. Tammy G. Zundell, Carolyn Park Middle, 31.84 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Madeline L. Laurent, Chateam Elementary, 27.96 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Teresa M. Christie, Pineview Middle, 26.65 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Betty J. Hodge, Transportation Center, 24.20 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. And Rhonda H. Lip, Transportation Center, 24.11 years, all in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you. Do we have a motion? Mr. Bro makes that motion. I have a second from Mr. Betancourt. Do we have any comments from board members? Do we have any comments from the public? If not, would everyone please vote on the retirement resolution for the non-certificated personnel? We have 13 yeas, and we'd like to wish them all a happy and long retirement and thank them for their service. Our next item is certification of board members. Certification of board members Matthew E. Green, Michael J. Derman, Stephen J. Loop, Brandon Harrell, Michael C. Nation, Shelta J. Richardson, Michael E. Winkler, Sharon L. Drucker, Ronald Betancourt, Tammy Lamy, James Bro, Dennis S. Kuzan, and Lisa M. Page in completion of 1 hour of training for 2019. Mr. Foles.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Board members are due indeed certify that the board members named above did complete the training as described on October 3rd.
Thank you so much. Our next item is a report from our committee as a whole meeting for Human Resources and Education held on October 3rd, 2019. And Mr. Kuzan, are you prepared to give that report?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a report. The recommendations from the committee as a whole meeting of Human Resources on October 3rd, the following. We recommend the acceptance of the revisions to the local evaluation plan, and I so move.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Kuzan to accept the revisions to the local evaluation plan. We have a second from Mr. Hersey. Do we have any comments from board members? Do we have any comments from the public? Would everyone please vote on accepting those recommended revisions? Ms. Lamy?
Yes, you got it.
You got it? Okay.
I was thinking really hard about that.
We have 13 yeas. Thank you so much. Mr. Kuzan?
Madam President, that completes our report.
Thank you so much. Our next is approval of the recommendations from the committee as a whole meeting for Business Affairs and Administrative held on October 3rd, 2019, and I'm going to call on Mr. Green for that report.
Thank you, Ms. Heinz. The committee as a whole for Business Affairs and Administration met on October 3rd, 2019, and makes the following recommendation that we approve acceptance of the final revised budget for fiscal year 2018 through 2019. And I so move.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Green, and we have a second by Ms. Richardson. Do we have any questions from board members on that final revised budget for 2018-19? Any comments from the public? Would everyone please vote on acceptance of that final revised budget? We have 13 yeas. That motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Green, is that it?
That concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we have a few announcements this evening. The first is that we would like to thank the students from Madisonville Junior High and William Pitcher Junior High for the beautiful artwork that is on display this month in the atrium. The art teacher is Ms. Courtney Dominique. If you haven't taken a moment to look at the artwork, please do. Next, we would like to thank the choral students from Lyon Elementary School for entertaining us before the board meeting tonight. They were under the direction of music teacher Marcia Sykes, and we really appreciated their presentation. It was very, very good, very entertaining. The November committee as a whole meeting will be on Thursday, November 7th at 6 p.m. The board meeting for November will be on November 14th at 7 p.m. at Brooks Educational Complex in Slidell. There being no further business this evening, I declare the meeting adjourned, and thank you all for being here.